Well, yeah, that's the other thing. And then the sound starts coming through. All right, redirecting live on Facebook. Here we go. Welcome, welcome everybody. We are back in the Midwest Elevation Facebook group for another conversation to raise the collective consciousness. I'm so excited to be here, not only because we finally found ourselves in the right place after a couple weeks of Zoom fiasco where I was going live on my personal page, unbeknownst to me. But we are back here, and I'm so excited to introduce you all to my guest today, Sara Fletcher. So let me get right to my screen share here and show you. Dun, 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 dun. Here we are. Let's orient ourselves. It is Tuesday, May 11th. Can you believe we are almost in the middle of May here? And we have the beautiful Miss Sara Fletcher here. We are going to be talking about your home's influence on your true potential. And I know some of you who've known me for a long while know that I did a little bit of professional organizing work. And Sara is a true master, so I'm so excited to be talking with her today and really figuring out how our environment really can impact us, right, for better or worse. So welcome, Sara. Sara is a home and lifestyle mentor. She's a certified Feng Shui practitioner and the founder of Love Home Life. She guides women and families who feel overwhelmed or embarrassed by their home environments to create living spaces that uplift and empower them to live happier, healthier, and more successful lives. She lives in Santa Cruz, California with her husband and two teenage kids. Welcome, Sara. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Renee. Thank you. It is a total pleasure to be joining you, and I always admire what you're up to. So it's super fun to join together in this space.
Thank you. It is a good space to be in. Speaking of spaces,
yes.
Well, definitely no stranger to how the space, your space, and your environment can impact, your mental health, your well-being, your energy, and just, we've seen who is it, Marie Kondo, who is done the work and feel your joy and all that great stuff. And there's so many different ways to go about doing that. And what I love about the work that you do is that it has far more to deal with what's kind of happening inside and the reflection of the outside, and vice versa, how they work together, which is perfect for our conversation today, right? We talk about doing the inner work to see the outer change, but we also have to, there's that symbiotic relationship of what is happening on the outside as a reflection of the inside. So maybe let's just get started there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, you said it. It's often said that our environments are a reflection, our outer environments are a reflection of our inner environments. And the goal in Feng Shui is really to bring those into harmony and in a really positive, thriving, vibrant kind of harmony that is in support of overcoming your obstacles and reaching your goals and really optimizing your chances of thriving in any area of life. So that's what I bring to it. I like to really show people just how powerful a role their environments play in their lives, and to just look through a new lens. Most people aren't really looking at their lives through the lens of their homes necessarily. It's just kind of like, oh, my home looks good or bad, it's messy or clean, just kind of common things I hear about. That's all it is. Maybe for some it feels like a utilitarian space, or for some maybe it is their passion, but bringing them into harmony and really connecting deeper with how you feel, opening up to what's possible in terms of, well, I wonder what kind of impact this is actually having, and looking at all the different layers of influence, the ones that are obvious, like there's a mess everywhere around me, or I am not organized and I can't find my papers, and You know, those kind of more obvious ones, like where your efficiency and productivity are impacted, to then the quality of your sleep. And then how does that ripple out to affect every single area of your life, your relationships and your health and your patience with your kids and your clarity throughout the day. You know, everything is connected, and it all comes down to, from my perspective, the environment is sending our nervous systems messages 24/7, and it's shaping the way we feel. And that is shaping our thoughts, which is shaping our actions, which is creating our reality. So the home is a really fantastic place to start to tune into what you want on a deeper level, and to start creating spaces that align with how you want to be feeling and the life you want to be creating, instead of just underestimating that it's having an impact and, oh, it doesn't matter. Because it does. It's having an effect.
Yeah. And I love that you say, you know, the fact that it's sending us, you know, signals that we're impacted, you know, by the space and the you know, the flow of energy, but also, which we can get into that more specifically in a minute, because that gets me all jazzed up. But
Yeah.
but the deeper, you know, I like how you touched on, you know, obviously our efficiency and our ability to manage all the things we have going on and all the things, but beyond that, really getting to the heart of how you want to feel every day, and you know, where that alignment is coming from deeper down.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us a little more about that. How did you figure that out?
Well, do you want to hear my crazy journey?
I do. I
Okay.
do.
All right. It's a doozy. Okay. Well, I will just quick background. Since I was a kid, like as far back as I can remember, I have just always been someone who's been very passionate about creating spaces around me that feel good and function well and look good. So, you know, I was the kid drawing floor plans and collecting home design magazines when I was 8. So just it's built into my DNA, I'll say that. And then of course I studied it and worked in the field over the years, and have always kind of had my self involved in it to some degree. But it was not until a more recent unrelated experience that showed me just how big an influence it has on our well-being and our true potential. So a little over 3 years ago, I was essentially an invalid. I know that sounds totally crazy because you're all excited to speak to you and fine. But I had been diagnosed with an extremely rare, absolutely massive, massive brain tumor. I went into a 14-hour surgery as a 40-year-old mother of 2. I had a different business, and basically leaving that life behind with total uncertainty as to what kind of recovery I would get to have. This was such an extreme case that the doctors really couldn't predict, like how long. I'm not really sure what kind of quality of life you can really expect to have.
Yeah.
So when I came back home from this 14-hour surgery, I had essentially lost all basic function. I definitely could not walk. I had a walker, and even with that and loss of balance and strength and coordination, I needed people on all sides of me to make sure I wasn't just going to tip over with the walker. I couldn't see straight. I couldn't eat or drink with ease. I had my eye taped shut and half my face paralyzed. And so I just lay on the couch. That was my new life, and couldn't even navigate the stairs to my bedroom, and couldn't watch TV, couldn't do anything. I could just lie there and wait to get better. And of course, I wanted to give myself the best chances of recovery that I possibly could. So I asked for the recommendations from 9 different doctors, from Western medicine to Eastern medicine, and tried every mind body thing I knew of, and practicing gratitude and trying to maintain hope, and really just trying everything I could. But after weeks of lying there and doing everything I could, absolutely nothing was changing. I was even feeling worse some days than the day I came home. So just as hopeful as I was definitely starting to get very discouraged and really just feeling the dark, heavy weight on my household and seeing how not only depressing it was for me, of course, but seeing the effects on my kids, just having this invalid mother and my husband who was so stressed trying to manage my care and his very demanding job and the kids. And so it was just heavy and dark and uncertain and totally overwhelming because there were so many issues to deal with all at once. So one day on my couch in my living room, as always, I just was feeling so discouraged, and one day just looked around and suddenly tuned in to how my space was making me feel. And it was not my living room that I normally enjoyed. It was like a hospital scene, and it was covered in medical clutter, and the walker was parked there, and all the furniture was rearranged to accommodate this life on the couch of an invalid. And I just realized, like, well, I know all of this is supporting me on a physical level, but I can absolutely tell at this point that it is holding me back emotionally from my recovery. And so I asked for help from my family to make some changes, to bring things out, to clear all the clutter away, to put the furniture where I wanted it, to bring in things that really represented the life I wanted to be living, that represented and made me feel like a thriving, healthy, happy, independent person, as opposed to an invalid and totally sick and weak. So of course everyone was happy to accommodate and did everything I asked. And when I woke up the next morning, Renee, it was like I had just found and fixed the kink in the hose. I had been so stuck for all those weeks. And when I woke up in the morning, I was like, I feel like a new woman. I was so inspired, so invigorated. I felt so encouraged and full of hope again that I decided I don't need this walker anymore. I'm never going to use it again. So I just started making my way around the house without it. I was like, I'm going to start cooking my own meals. I don't want a meal train anymore. Probably 100 people still waiting to bring me dinner.
Right.
Cooking my own meals. Started practicing using the stairs to sleep in my own bed again. And I mean, our house suddenly filled with light and joy. We were laughing because it was so shocking how quickly everything changed. It was like this last puzzle piece feeling of, I knew I was doing everything. It's like I turned the water of the hose on and I know it's flowing. I can hear it, but it's not coming out. And that environmental piece was what was really this catalyst. And as I continued working through my home, little by little, the stronger it got, my recovery flowed so fast and so steady that within 4 months, I was able to go out for a 10-mile run. And it was not long after that I realized, okay, our environments are playing a bigger role than people realize. Right. And this is what I was meant to do, and why I went on this whole journey was to discover my true purpose in life, tap into my natural gifts, get the training to make it officially certified, and really show up to support people in creating environments that will help them overcome their obstacles and really live up to their true potential. Yeah.
It's so incredible. It's so incredible. And I, can see you and just having that realization, looking around at all the medical equipment and just having that realization that, this feels like a hospital room, and how just by changing that up, it really opened up, the healing process for you. And so quickly, as you said.
Yeah.
And so, for our listeners out there, maybe, you're not in some, deep recovery, but maybe you're overwhelmed and maybe there's something missing. Maybe there's, that joy. You said finally, your home was filled with some laughter and positivity. And so, so maybe give us just a little hint of how that work that you do can create that shift.
Well, typically I start with an invitation with people to really tune in on a deeper level than what they typically do in their homes. Like, how is it really making you feel? So we really I invite them to fill out something that takes a long time. Don't whiz through this. You're not going to get the same results. So,
Right.
so to just go on a deeper level and think about, when I wake up in this space, how do I feel? When I walk in my door, how do I feel? And a lot of like real true feelings start to come up. Like, I do feel shame and I don't feel proud of this. And I do not feel inspired when I wake up every day. And I do not feel efficient in my space. And so they can really tap into where there are opportunities to start finding ways to improve these areas. And then the other piece of it is, what areas of my life do I feel are not going as well as I'd like? And then I can help them start connecting dots about how is that being held in place in your environment. And then sometimes it's kind of obvious, and sometimes, more often, it's something more subtle, like an elemental imbalance or some maybe architectural issue, or, you know, there are a million different feng shui issues that throw out as possibilities. Most people have all kinds of feng shui issues, and they're just assuming they aren't.
Right.
They don't exist. I'm like, actually, you said this, I see it here, try changing it, see what happens. And then things change.
That's amazing.
It's just fun. It's really fun and like mind-blowing when you really effectively connect the dots and you open up to being willing to make the change, because your life experience is, I won't say on the line, but kind of.
Right.
You have the opportunity to experiment with something and see what happens if you do. And within generally a kind of short amount of time, people are noticing energetic shifts, definitely in their home, and enjoying it more, but also, you know, their sleep is better. They just feel lighter. They're having more fun. They feel more inspired, more energized. Many times it's, you know, financial abundance starts pouring in and opportunities start pouring in, and there just becomes this, it's a continuous process. It's not a one-time thing, which is contrary to what many people think. It's, you know, just have your house feng shuied once and then you're good to go.
Right.
Till the end of your life, you should be tuning into your environment.
Right.
And keeping it current and aligned with how you want to feel and the life you're trying to create. So, so really there's a lot of connecting of dots and trying to tune into how you currently are feeling in your life and your environment. How do you want to feel in your life and your environment? And then finding doable ways financially and with time constraints and such to really do what you can with what you have.
That's beautiful. So then do you have, when you work with your clients, you know, you said obviously it's not a one time and done, which is something, you know, as a professional organizer, that's what I did. I went in and I helped, you know, and we had these conversations and we got to a place where, you know, the space was workable. But then, you know, it's really left up to the people to either keep it going or stay tuned with it. And sometimes that's possible and sometimes it's not. So it sounds like you're able to offer, you know, some more support and to help your clients kind of learn how to tap into that.
Yeah. And most of the people that I work with are people who are feeling like really overwhelmed and really embarrassed and very stuck, and that in their situations it's been that way for years, maybe even since childhood. So having there's a lifestyle shift built into the work. So really the longer you commit to a process of creating a nourishing environment that's going to empower each member of your family in every area of life for everyone. That's not an overnight thing. It just takes time, especially when you're an overwhelmed, busy mother, for example. You can't do it in a week. So yeah, typically I'll kind of gauge, you know, based on the size of the home and based on the person's circumstances, and find, you know, a recommendation that feels like will get them a really dramatic feeling shift that they can sustain too. Because like any lifestyle change, you know, it working out, eating well, you know, it takes a while to really effectively integrate it and have it feel like it's going to stick, and not just this like, I worked out once really hard.
Yeah.
I'm good now.
I'm good. I'm good. I know. Awesome. Well, if any of these things that Sarah and I are speaking about today are resonating with you, please let us know. I did see a comment. Jacob was asking about the link to this Zoom. We're just here, just the two of us. So watching live, you can, Jacob, if you have specific questions for Sarah, please just put them in the comment section here below on the Facebook Live in the group, and let us know what's on your mind. So glad you're here. And anybody else, if there are things, if you have specific questions or either about Feng Shui or about Sarah's work, certainly let us know and we'll be happy to get them answered. Whether you are watching live or on the replay, we'll certainly come back and check that out. Can you give us like the very basic, I know a lot of us have heard about Feng Shui, but sort of the basis of the energy work of Feng Shui. Maybe just a
Yeah, how do I nut it down?
I know. It's very large.
Yeah. Well, the description of it really, like the definition is, well, there are many, but really it's an ancient practice that observes just how interconnected our life experiences are with our environments. And one of the things that I learned, but that is true and studied among many and shown far beyond me, is that I like to use this visual of the three-legged stool analogy, where if you have any kind of obstacle you're trying to overcome or a goal you're trying to reach, that you think about all the angles of support you can give yourself to optimize your potential for success in whatever you're trying to do. So in my case, I came up with this three-legged stool visualization that, if you picture these three legs, one of them represents like your internal energy, like your mindset and your attitude and chakras and whatever kinds of what's happening on the inside. And is that, do a little status check, like how's it going in there? And is it supportive of what I'm trying to achieve? So, if you've got a big goal and you're full of doubt, not totally in alignment. So you might need some extra support from that angle. And then the second leg is like the energy of your actions, and are those in support? You actually have to be doing the work and considering your strategies and your action steps and consistency, and just checking your status if you're really doing that, or if there are tweaks that need to be made there or more support brought in. And then the third one is typically what most people are overlooking, and that is the energy of the environment. So when you picture a three-legged stool, you've got these three energies all working together. You can't really lean into a two-legged stool super well. Right. So you need all three to be pretty strong. And that's partly why it has that feeling of like this last puzzle piece put into place, because people just haven't been paying attention to at least one or two of those three. And so when you get them all harmonized and reinforced, you really notice that you can like lean into and rely on that system. So that's sort of a helpful thing to have the visual of the three-legged stool. So anytime you have an obstacle to overcome, just consider how, what kinds of support can I give myself to make my internal environment better? How can I empower myself with support to make my actions more effective? How can I support myself through the lens of my environment? And is it energetically aligned with, if it's financial abundance you're going for, does it reflect thriving wealth? Does it reflect a really well-managed space? Does it have the same qualities? Does it make you feel like, I can go out and do anything? Does it make you feel clear? Does it make you feel confident? All the things that then are related to generating income. So it's all connected.
It is. It is all connected.
It is all connected. Yeah.
I love this. All right, couple questions here from Jacob. Must we not be conscious first in daily life before we can help others be conscious? Yes and no. I feel like we're all doing the work. We might be doing it at different levels of being aware. Certainly, it's helpful to be aware of your own, your own life, your own issues. But we are always constantly learning. Um, so, what is it, that Ram Dass quote? We are all just walking each other home.
Oh yeah.
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 So I feel like that's a great question. You know, we're not going to know all the answers before we can help somebody else. Um, and we support each
Learning from
other.
each other.
Hmm.
Hmm.
For sure. I mean, talking about the, our outer environment being a reflection, the people in our environment are also, we reflect to each other what it is that we're, our joys and our struggles.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that's, and I'm not sure I understand the next question. What is the source of all wastage of energy? I don't understand the question. Ram Dass told me he never got enlightened. Maybe not in this lifetime. But we're all, there isn't a all done and then you get to move on. So, great questions, Jacob. Thank you. Um, I do, before we go here, I want to make sure that we get to hear about the amazing training that is coming up that you are doing. So give us some details about that.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yes, I am excited. It's next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific. It's going to be in my Love Home Life Sanctuary group on Facebook. This particular setting is a women's group, but the following week I may do a Zoom call. So if there are any males who are interested in joining one of those, comment below that you're interested and I can reach out and give you access information. But the event is called 5 Keys to a Clutter-Free, Shame-Free Home Your Family Can Thrive In. It's going to be a 3-day workshop, 45 minutes or so each day, and we'll be diving deep into some of the reasons why people feel stuck in their clutter, why they stay stuck through generations, really, and just exploring more some of the ways that you can use your environment as a tool to really up level your quality of life, to get unstuck, um, to learn more about how it's actually also called environmental healing, and some amazing stories that some of my clients have had, like overnight amazing
I
relief
love it. I
from
love it.
just putting that last piece in place, or even sometimes the first piece. So yeah, so we'll get 3 days to just dive more into how fun this work is, and definitely everyone will leave with a lot of inspiration and new insights and just new awareness to start, if they haven't been, seeing how much opportunity their homes hold to really uh, change the way they feel in life, and to really see it as a resource to start unfolding your true potential.
Oh, I love that. I'm so excited. I definitely, and we will definitely get the link for anybody who's interested to register. I'll post that when we hang up here in a few minutes, and then I'll be sure to, of course, to register myself because I'm excited to hear these client stories, and I just absolutely love the work that you do. I think it's
Thank
amazing.
you.
Thank
And
you.
likewise, I have several people in mind that I am going to point your direction. So
Awesome.
yeah, we are a
Thank
good
you.
team. Thank you so much.
Yes. All right. Let us know down in the comments below, what are your key takeaways from today. So much learning, so much joy in being together here with you, Sarah. So
Thank you.
thank you,
Likewise.
everybody out there in Midwest Elevation, for joining us today. We will be back next Tuesday with another conversation to raise the collective consciousness, where we do this work together. All right.